All right, all right. Welcome back to another episode of the Masterful Conversations podcast, where we learn about leadership from the men who have served or are currently serving as worshipful master in a regular lodge of free and accepted Masons. I am Brother Matthew Wagstaff, proud past master of Eureka Lodge number 36 out of Rochester, New York. We're currently serving as my worshipful master is Brother Jermaine Myers, and I am with
I am Brother Mark Alexander, proud past master of Sons of Kings Lodge number 123 out of Brooklyn, New York. We're currently serving as my worshipful master is Brother Kevin Parker.
We both hail from the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of the state of New York. We're currently serving as our Grand Master is most worshipful Darren M. Morton. And so we have another special guest, another special episode today. We have another past Grand Worthy Matron who we have the privilege of meeting and having a conversation with today. So we are very pleased to have our guest today. But before we do that, we have announcements and then our quick disclaimer. Mark?
Yeah, first I just want to give a big shout out to the New York State Council of Liberation. They just celebrated their 100th anniversary, and from what I hear, everything went great. So, congratulations to them, to our illustrious Deputy Herman Simpson, and to everybody in the council. Thank you, and continue to keep up the good work. The views and opinions on the show are our own and do not hold the views and opinions of our lodges, chapters, grand lodges, or grand chapters. The show is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. If you have any particular questions, please consult the proper officer in your respective jurisdiction.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, without any further delay, I have the honor and privilege to introduce our guest for today's show. Is past Grand Worthy Matron Mary L. Boyd-Foy. She served as Worthy Matron for Emerald Chapter number 81 out of Brooklyn, New York, from October of 1985 to December of 1986, and
First,
then
first worthy matron.
First Worthy Matron. And then she served the chapter again in 2006 and 2007. She served as the Grand Worthy Matron for Eureka Grand Chapter, Order Eastern Star, Prince Hall in New York for the years 2017 through 2019. Prior to that, she served 3 years as Grand Trustee and 3 years as Grand Secretary throughout her ascension into the Grand East of Eureka Grand Chapter. Outside of that, she also served as Loyal Lady Ruler for 2 years for Long Island Assembly number 20, Order of the Golden Circle. She is a past illustrious commandress of Abubeker Court number 74 and was named illustrious commandress of the year in the time that she served in 1994. She is also a past honorary imperial commandress of the Imperial Court, along with other leadership roles as well throughout her time in the craft and the order. And so, welcome, past Grand Worthy Matron Mary L. Boyd Foy to the show.
Good evening. Thank you, my brothers, for having me on this important communication network. I look forward to our dialogue this evening.
Absolutely. We look forward to it as well. So we're just going to dive right into it. If you wouldn't mind, please just giving us a little bit of your background. When were you brought into the Order of Eastern Star? What was the year? Do you remember if you have any the leaders who were in that chapter when you came into the craft? Just give us a little bit of your background of entering into the order.
Sure, I'll be pleased to. As you probably know, my path and entry into the Order Eastern Star is unique. And the reason I say that is I did not come in by requesting a petition from anyone to come into an existing chapter. My path included a lot of interaction with wives of St. James Lodge number 114 and Widow Sons Lodge number 11. That came about because my husband, who was a Prince Hall Mason in the military, then after he retired, he moved to New York and continued his membership with his military lodge. And he was encouraged by his cousin, who was joining St. James, they were coming over from the other side, as we call it, to the Prince Hall family. And his cousin encouraged him to join up with the brothers in St. James Lodge number 114. At that time, they had a deputy master who sort of oversaw their activities when they were
Hmm.
beginning, and his name was Esteban Castillo, past master of Widow Sons Lodge number 11 in Brooklyn, New York, a very outstanding, renowned brother. And
Hmm.
he at the time observed that I, along with the wives and of the brothers of St. James Lodge number 114 and the wives of the brothers of Widow Sons Lodge number 11, were very friendly because our husbands struck up a very good relationship when they started St. James 114 as a Prince Hall Lodge. We did many things together. There were about 8 or 9 of us, and we traveled. We went to various plays and productions, and we just had a wonderful time. So, past master Esteban Casilio asked me, after about a year or so of observing us together, if I would get the ladies together and ask them how they felt about becoming a sister chapter to St. James Lodge number 114. So I asked him, what is it all about? He said that he would meet with us, and he did. He met with us. There were about 7 or 8 of us at the time, and he explained the process. And we were interested, but quite intimidated by all of the things that were required of us to do in order to become a chapter, a charter chapter under Eureka Grand Chapter. However, we persevered and we did many things to comply with what was expected of us. First was we had to find a name for our group because none of us were members of the order at any time in any other organization. So this was all new
Okay.
to us.
Oh, nice.
So we found a name. We put names in a hat and we just drew the names out.
Oh, really?
And
Wow.
yes, we decided we were going to do that.
Okay.
So the only name I could think of at the time, because I like jewelry. So
Okay.
I said, oh, emerald. That's a beautiful shining stone. It's outstanding. So I put the name Emerald in the
Mm-hmm.
cup that we had. And lo and behold, the name that was pulled by one of the ladies was
Mm.
Emerald. So they said, oh,
Oh,
this is great. Emerald is a great stone.
nice.
We'll be shining stars. And I
Mm.
said, yes, that is wonderful. I'm so happy you selected that. They didn't know that I had put that
Put
in
it
the
in.
hat. So I said, that's the name I put in. And they said, oh, wonderful.
Oh,
So we were
nice.
off and running. We were then called Emerald Club.
Mm-hmm.
So as a club, we did all that was required of us. We did a lot of fundraisers. We had a night at the races with dinner. We went to Billie Holiday Theater several times. We went to Pennsylvania on shopping trips, and we had bingo games in our homes, and which we developed as a fundraiser, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
because we knew if we were to become a chapter, we would need money.
Mm-hmm.
And of the things that we were told that we would need would be paraphernalia for our chapter. So we continued all of those fundraisers and we had a wonderful time. We really did. We just had a wonderful experience in developing what we thought was going to be a shining star in Eureka Grand Chapter. So we continued that, and then we were given at Grand Session, we were given the permission to function as a UD chapter. Now, UD means under dispensation. That's
Mm-hmm.
a chapter that is in training, so to speak, to
Good way
become
to
a
put it.
chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So we became then from Emerald Club, we became Emerald
UD.
Chapter UD.
Mm-hmm.
And we had that UD certificate, and that was given to our deputy matron, who
Mm-hmm.
was Annie Stackhouse, past matron of Mount Zion chapter number 59. She was appointed by the grand
Stackhouse.
patron and the grand matron. And we were guided in our ritualistic work by another outstanding past matron, also from Mount Zion chapter number 59, Jeanette Jones, who became Jeanette Walks. and her husband was very much affiliated with the Philaxis Society. So she married him and moved to Kentucky
That,
after after guiding us through all of the trials and
hold
tribulations
on.
of doing our work in the order. She was outstanding, as well as past matron Annie Stackhouse. Our
Kid, hold
deputy
on.
patron,
I'm sorry. So that's Joseph Walk's wife came
yes,
from. Oh, wow.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. That's the connection.
Wow.
She
Okay.
met him while she was here in New York. She lived in Brooklyn. She
Mm-hmm.
met him on one of the fraternal meetings,
Mm-hmm.
and he lived in Kentucky, and therefore she married him and moved to Kentucky. Um,
And
he,
Stackhouse was she had a husband in the order too, I believe so. I think I recognize that name as a brother.
Annie Stackhouse was the
Yeah.
sister to
A sister. Okay.
brother
Oh,
Stackhouse.
okay, that's what it is. I knew I recognized
Yes,
that name too. All right, cool. Thank
yes,
you.
yes. That was her brother.
Cool.
Outstanding past matron. She
Mm-hmm.
just knew her work impeccably well. And our deputy
Mm.
patron, I don't know if you know the name, Tillman Goodwin.
Of course. Of course I don't tell me. Yeah, of course, of course. Hmm.
Tillman Goodwin.
Definitely
And
miss that brother.
you must know how proficient he was with his work.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that he was not only proficient in the Order Eastern Star, but he was also proficient in his lodge in
Mm-hmm.
doing his work. So he was our deputy patron. And we were well trained, as you know from the names I just called, we were well
Mm-hmm.
trained. We had those who were extremely knowledgeable and very, 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 very concerned about the order. They, in other words, loved the order.
Mm-hmm.
We had wonderful instruction, and we were just so, so pleased that the fruit of our work was that everybody was coming to visit to see us do our work.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very encouraging. So the report that went in from our deputy lecturer, um, again, I mentioned Jeanette Jones Walks,
Mm-hmm.
at Grand Session was that she recommended that we be considered to receive a charter. And that was a happy day. That was in
Mm-hmm.
June of 85.
Mm-hmm.
So when we found out that we were going to get our charter in October, I tell you, we were jumping for joy, jumping for joy. We continued our work as a UD without a charter, UD group. And then came October 5, 1985, when we were chartered. It was absolutely fantastic. Standing room only at 70 Pennsylvania Avenue in the Blue Room.
No,
It
the blue room.
rained. There was a rainstorm like you would not believe, but there was standing room only, as I said.
Mm.
Members came from throughout the jurisdiction of New York, and they were very interested because it had been quite some years before a
Mm-hmm.
chapter had been chartered. So they wanted to see how this
Mm-hmm.
process would play out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was phenomenal, phenomenal. We were just, as I said, so excited. I can still visualize the day and the large room,
Mm-hmm.
the Blue Room, as they call it, at Pennsylvania Avenue, and all of the people flowing in to see the chartering of this new chapter. And then to see my husband, who was past master at that time of St. James Lodge number 114, and he became a charter member of Emerald Chapter number 81.
Mm-hmm.
To see him coming in to that meeting with the brothers from St. James carrying our pedestals that he had handmade by
Oh,
an artisan, an Italian
wow.
artisan. He had those pedestals handmade for our chapter as a gift for our chartering. It was a wonderfully moving experience. So we proceeded in the agenda, and there was an election after we were presented with the charter. And I was elected the first matron of Emerald Chapter number 81. Serving alongside me in the East was the late Leo D. Johnson. I don't know if you know
Oh,
that name.
yeah, I know Leah D. Johnson. He was
Mhm.
our deputy when Sons of Kings came over.
Oh,
Mm.
you see, the connection is there. The
Yeah.
connection is there. Well, he was the first worthy patron of Emerald Chapter number 81.
Nice. Hmm.
So we served in the East together for that period of time from October 85 to December 86. During that year, we experienced many, many, many interesting first time joys because we did not know the kind of support that we would receive. It was overwhelming. Chapters offered to donate paraphernalia to us, but we thanked them very graciously. But we were so proud of the fact that all of our activities before we received our charter bore fruit. And we had over $4,000 in our treasury, and we were so proud of that. So we
Nice.
bought all of our paraphernalia new, for every degree and everything we needed to function as a chapter. We purchased it all new as a result of the fundraisers that all of the ladies who were in the group worked so hard to raise the funds. It was magnificent how we worked so well together. So from that point on, we journeyed through all of what has to be done as a chapter. We started as a chapter under dispensation, an event that became a wonderful, enjoyable fundraiser for about 10 years, and we called it an evening of elegance.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fantastic. We had over 100 guests every year for about 10 years at that evening of elegance in the fall, mostly in October, November. And members from throughout the jurisdiction came because they just looked forward to it. It was such a wonderful time. And it was a major fundraiser raiser for us because of all of the things that we did to promote it and the interest that we had. And again, I say, to God be the glory for the support that we received from throughout the jurisdiction of New York. And kudos to our second district sisters
Yeah.
and brothers.
The
They were
sophisticated second at the time, definitely. The sophisticated second district.
sophisticated second. That's
Sophisticated.
right. We were the sophisticated
It-
second, and don't forget
yeah,
it.
Nice, nice.
And don't forget it. And we acted that way and we
hmm
performed that way. And we didn't have anybody question that because we showed that we were absolutely just that sophisticated second.
Mm. Yes,
hmm
yes.
We enjoyed our time as a chartered chapter. A lot of things that came to us we didn't expect, and they weren't bad, but they were challenges, and we worked
hmm
through them. We worked so harmoniously together, and we loved being at the temple because we had originally scheduled our meeting time for 8 in the evening,
hmm
and that was the same time that St. James met our
hmm
brother Lodge. And by the way, a shout out to St. James. They
hmm
Mm.
officially adopted Emerald chapter number 81 as their sister chapter. And when
hmm
I say officially, through written communication to the
hmm
grand chapter and saying that they were very proud to adopt us as their sister chapter. So kudos to them. They
James
were,
Boys.
beg your pardon?
I said James Boys. That's their nickname, the James
That's
Boys.
right, the James boys. They were outstanding. They donated not only their time and their funds and their support, but they donated an absolutely fantastic Bible that we still have on our altar today. Beautiful Bible. And then other members donated. I don't know if you know the name Edward Fulmore.
I heard of that name.
Edward Fulmore, past master of St. James.
James.
Well, he donated some of the paraphernalia that we had just they were outstanding. The
hmm
James boys, as you call them,
hmm
they were outstanding. They were there for us all the time.
Mhm.
So again, I say we met at 8 o'clock and they met at 8 o'clock. And it was the tradition after they closed their large meeting and we closed our chapter meeting that we would go into the ballroom on the
Mm-hmm.
second floor. I know you know that location.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we would socialize. The sisters would bring it wasn't always a fancy meal, but it was
Mm-hmm.
probably finger sandwiches or chicken and salad or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
the brothers, you know what they do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what they contribute.
Shh, come on, don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. This is like
It's
No, no,
after
quiet.
no.
meeting.
That's our secret. That's our secret. But we did have punch and cookies.
Okay.
But it was
Understood.
just
Okay.
wonderful. It was wonderful.
Good.
We enjoyed our time together, our beginning years, and we understand from our teachings that we had certain duties to perform and certain uh, activities that we could do and could not do. So we were very cautious about how we conducted ourselves and the things that we did, and became a very, I think, upstanding and outstanding chapter in the Order Eastern Star under the banner of Eureka Grand Chapter.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that context. That's a great history, and thank you for the
Yeah,
names you
definitely.
shared and the detail. That's going to be very, very interesting for us to go back to and refer to in a year. So thank you for those details.
And
You're
for your
welcome, and
chapter.
excuse me, I'd like to also add this because
Mm-hmm.
it's very historic as well.
Yep.
On our charter is the name of the grand patron at the time, Walter Howell.
Mm-hmm.
Walter Howell is a past master, and he was grand patron at the time we were chartered. His name is on our charter. The grand matron who also chartered our chapter along with past patron Howell was Alvia Jones. She is now deceased, but I want you to know that past grand worthy patron Walter Howell is alive and well and 102 years old, living
Oh
in
wow.
Amen.
Virginia.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And we
Wow.
communicate with him on his birthday, which is around Christmas, and we communicate with him. The grand officers, the past grand council, we call ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
which is the past grand matrons and past grand patrons. We get on a Zoom with him every year and wish him happy birthday. But
Awesome.
more to the point, I want you to know the other name on our charter
Mm-hmm.
as grand secretary at the time was
Mm-hmm.
past grand worthy matron Wilma J. Johnson.
Gilman Johnson. Okay. Cool.
So that's a little bit more of history.
Love it.
And we're so proud that past grand worthy matron Wilma Johnson is still active and
Mm-hmm.
doing her duty in the order and just as involved as she ever has been. So we thank God for her continued service in the order. And I just want to say that past grand worthy matron Wilma Johnson was extremely helpful to me. She was one of my mentors, by the way,
Mm.
as well
Okay.
as past grand worthy matron Julia Fenner Holland. Unfortunately,
Been
she's now
Holland.
in a nursing facility,
Mm-hmm.
but she is another mentor and a mentor extraordinaire
Mm-hmm.
was honorary past grand worthy matron Betty Barbour. Do you know
Balboa.
the name?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Outstanding, 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 without a doubt. She does her work impeccably well and she has a wealth of knowledge. She is one that you can go to with any question and always get a wonderfully founded and uh legal, a
Mm.
response. So when you consult her for anything, you know that what she is telling you, as old people used to say, gospel.
Yeah.
Understood that for sure. Hey,
So
can I,
those
I
are
just want to
three of my mentors, along with those other outstanding sisters and brother that I mentioned when we were chartered. That's past matron Jeanette Jones Walks and past matron Annie Stackhouse and past patron Tillman Goodwin, an outstanding man. So that I wanted to enter into the history because I think it's very important that we remember those who were there for us when we needed that assistance, and some as is with some of the names I mentioned, are still with us and
Yep.
still serving this great order. Thank you.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Apologies if I missed this already. I have two small questions. One, if I missed it, please correct me. Who was the Grand Master at the time when you were chartered? I'm sorry if I missed that. You already shared it.
No,
Oh, please let me tell you.
that's
I
Solomon, right?
know you know this name,
Yeah,
Solomon
Solomon Wallace.
Wallace.
All
Yeah,
right. All
Solomon
right.
Wallace time.
All right.
Yep.
Let's make sure we capture that one. And then
Yes.
about how many sisters were came in when you were chartered, roughly? About how many sisters were they?
Well, I'll tell you, we had 26 members
Hmm.
on our charter, and we have, I will tell you in a minute how many sisters there were. I think there were five brothers,
Mhm.
and the others were sisters. Um,
Just want
but
to
there
get a
were
sense of the size. That's all. Yeah.
26 members.
Cool.
Okay.
I will tell you now, there were one, two, three. Yes, I recall correctly. There were five brothers
Mm-hmm.
and 21 sisters.
Nice.
Awesome.
The brothers were, of course, Past Master Leo Johnson, Past Master, my husband, James A. Foy, and another name you may know, Past Master Ira S. Holder.
Ira
Do you know
Holder.
that
Yep, I
name?
know the name. Yeah, they named
Okay.
the local what is that Philaxis Society. They named it after him.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. All
Hmm.
of this is great history.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
the other two brothers who are in our charter,
Mm.
Brother Edward Lewis Sr.
Hmm.
and Brother J. Jose Spencer. You may know that name.
I don't know that one.
You don't?
Don't
Okay.
know that one.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Well, there were 21 sisters again, as I say,
Mm.
and five brothers who are on our charter as chartered members.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Past Grand, or one of the staple questions we have on this show is, what, in your opinion, is effective leadership?
That's an excellent question. Leadership in itself encompasses many essential human qualities: responsibility, accountability, respect. And when I say respect, it's respect for oneself as well as respect for those whom you serve. It is my humble opinion that you need to respect and understand those that you lead in order to lead effectively. So that respect has to go from you um, in big time form, because I think people respond more to those who respect them and they appreciate that. So that is one of the great aspects, I think, of leadership. In addition to integrity, integrity is important because I think that quality shines above in everything you do. And it gives you a foundation in the organization in terms of, again, the respect that you will receive from others. Integrity is extremely important. And dedication. Dedication in terms of being on point with all that you say you will do, and do only that you are sure that you can do, and be very candid about what you can and what you cannot do, but always be a good listener. Always, always. I think a good leader has to be a good listener because
Mhm.
you need to hear people's opinions and their thoughts and their ideas and their suggestions, because none of us know everything. So working
Mhm.
together and being receptive to receiving information from those whom you lead can lead to a greater success in whatever you do. We all need to listen to each other and not dismiss an idea because, as they say, no idea is a stupid idea. No question is a stupid question. It's all how you receive it and how you deal with it. So I think those are some of the qualities that must exist in a leader or in a leadership role. And leaders are really people who have been support part of a support system for any group.
Mhm.
You come to leadership by a series of developmental skills. And as you develop those skills, I think you become a better leader. So the best leaders I know are those who have been extremely good support persons in whatever
Mm,
they've done. I think that pathway to leadership is very important. Knowing your role as you become a support person and knowing that you need to learn as much as you can on the road to becoming a leader, and also knowing that it is not a demeaning role to serve. Service is a high calling. And that should be understood in anyone, including a leader or a person giving service, giving support.
Mhm.
Giving support means you serve as well. And we all, in our own way and in our own environments, are leaders. And we're
mhm,
all role models. Whether
Mhm.
we know it or not, younger
Mhm.
people and others are looking at us all the time. They're very aware of our behavior and how we conduct ourselves, and especially as members of this great fraternity and the Order Eastern Star. More is expected of us because we are leaders. Whether we understand that when we come into the order, but it is so. We are leaders and we are expected to conduct ourselves as such. So leadership casts a wide net
Mhm.
throughout our organization. It's not only those who are responsible for certain um, entities or grand matron or chairperson of a committee or whatever. We're all leaders and we're all expected to conduct ourselves in that manner. So it's very important that we do that and we understand who we are because we are special. We are special. But by being special, there's a lot expected of us. And we have to do what is expected of us and enjoy what we do because I love the order. I
mm.
love the order. I think the order is absolutely fantastic and is a great way to grow in your own personal life because I don't know if you brothers are members of the order or not, but the precepts and teachings that we hear every month in our meetings are invaluable
Mm,
and they are wonderful guides for our life experience. So leadership has many facets and it flows throughout the organization, but it of course weighs more heavily on the grand officers, so to speak, or the people who are in charge of committees or whatever your title is. But without the title even, we should know
Mhm.
that we're all leaders and we're all role models.
absolutely.
Outstanding.
Absolutely. So thank you for that. Couple follow-up questions to that. Twofold. One is when you were in the Grand East as the Grand Worthy Matron for Eureka Grand Chapter, what were some of the things that you focused on during your time in the Grand East? And then when you came out of the Grand East, how do you show up as a leader today?
Well, thank you for that question. I have throughout my life focused on history. I'm a history buff. And I like to know when something started and how it started and what happened and all the details. So one of the things I focused on was having a detailed history written of Eureka Grand Chapter. And I was just blessed with the talents of two outstanding members of our organization. And when I mention these names, you'll know them,
Mhm.
who agreed to put their shoulder to the wheel and produce a wonderful document that exists today, beautifully prepared history of Eureka Grand Chapter. And those two persons are past master and past honorary past Grandmaster Ludwig Hall,
Those your call. Rest in peace.
and past Grand Worthy Matron Barbara
Barbara.
Barmore.
I figured we was gonna go to her too. Yeah.
You said
That
what's
was
the
not
last
a
name? Barbara
surprise.
Barbara
Barmore.
Barmore,
Mm-hmm.
Barmore.
Barbara
Gotcha.
Barmore.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you to pause for a moment and say a prayer for past Grand Matron Barbara Barmore. She is ill and she's suffering with some
Mm,
health challenges. So please
Okay.
keep her in prayer.
Will do.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. And past grand Brother Hall, may he continue to rest in peace. Him and Minnie Hall, where we just had a big loss of them, both of them last year. They were big in our jurisdiction, so may they continue to rest in peace.
May they rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
They contributed a lot to this order.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, honorary past Grandmaster Ludwig Hall um, was a Mason's Mason.
Yep.
He was outstanding. He
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
was outstanding. And he was very much into the history portion of our organization.
Mm-hmm.
So the document that he and past Grand Matron Barbara Barmore presented is extraordinary. So if you have any time and you're up at the Grand East, you ask one of the Grand Trustees to give you a copy of that. It's absolutely fantastic. They did a beautiful job.
They think they
So
might
that
have it
was
on the website. 'Cause I was just
yes,
looking at it. It's probably on.
it
It's on
was
their website.
transferred from
Yep.
that document to the
The
website.
website. Mm-hmm.
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So that was one of the things that interested me. And I want to say very quickly now uh, how very much I enjoyed serving in the Grand East with past Grand Worthy patron Jesse
Jesse
Powell.
Powell, may he rest in peace. Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that he was kind, considerate, understanding, respectful. We enjoyed an extraordinary fraternal relationship. He was there for me. We conferred with each other on all that we wanted to do. We absolutely enjoyed our service in the Grand East. And he has had a great sense of humor as well. I don't know if you know that, but he and I just served beautifully together. So he agreed when I introduced this idea of the historic project. He thought it was a great idea, and we pursued that. But just an aside, one thing that's also historically pertinent is that he and I share the same birthday,
Oh wow.
mm,
June
Yeah,
the
really.
30th.
Nice.
Not the
Okay,
same
cool.
year,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
but
Mhm, mhm,
but the same birthday,
mhm,
June the 30th. So God rest his soul. And every year at on June 30th, I say a prayer for him.
mhm.
We used to have a little contest going, who would call each other first on their birthday.
mm,
So
Nice.
so he got me so many times. I said, how am I gonna top him? He would
Mhm.
call me at 8 o'clock in the morning, or he'd call me on his way to work, well, when he got to work at 9 o'clock. And I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm gonna wake him up. I'm gonna
Oh,
call him at six
yeah.
o'clock in the morning and I'm gonna wish him a happy birthday. I finally cracked the code of how to beat him with that. So I did that one morning and he said, Grand Matron, I'm just waking up. I said, good, good, good. I caught you this time. I caught you. I
mm.
beat you to the punch. Happy birthday. But that was wonderful. That was wonderful. The other things we did during my administration or during our administration, because I always want to include past grand patron Jesse Powell, because we did everything together, was we
Mhm.
made contributions to the Nellie B. Lofthouse Foundation. We had an extraordinary experience in that we asked past grand patron Nigel Cujo and past grand worthy matron um, Lisa Horton to
Mhm.
help us because we saw that the new members coming in needed guidance. And we asked them if they would chair a new members committee, and they did just that. They did extraordinary work with the new members. The new members turned out at every school. They were enthusiastic. They learned a lot. And those two past grand officers, past grand worthy patron Nigel J. Cujo, who is now the grand secretary of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand
Mm-hmm.
Lodge, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And past grand matron Lisa Horton, and you know her for all of her magnificent work that she does in the order
Yep.
and what she does for the Grand Lodge
Large.
as
Mm-hmm.
well. But
Mm-hmm.
they chaired that committee and they did extraordinary work, as I said, for the new members. The new members were very enthusiastic and they learned a lot. We found that it was helpful to them because they're coming into strange territory and they needed additional assistance to try to guide them through this network of things that we have to learn in the Order Eastern Star.
Mhm.
They had plans, lesson plans, and meetings, and they just did a magnificent job. So that was another thing that we were very proud of in our administration. We also knew that there are many, many, many people in our organization whose names you don't hear. You know
Mm-hmm.
the work that they do because of what happens, but you don't
Mm-hmm.
know their names. So we wanted to acknowledge and showcase what we call the unsung heroes in our order. And we had a special luncheon for them and gave them plaques and
Mm.
awards and gave them all the kudos that they so richly deserve. So that was another thing that we wanted to do, just not acknowledge those people that are in the background, but ever so important in our order. Thank you.
Excellent. And then sort of the last thing, how do you how do you show up as a leader today in the order? Sort of what are some of the things that you do as a leader or how you show up as a leader for Emerald chapter or the order in general?
Yeah.
Well, I make myself available,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
make myself available. I want my members in my chapter and the members in the order to know that I'm available if they ever need to talk or need to consult with me, and also let them know that our conversations are always confidential.
Hmm.
That's very important. Always confidential. So they can come to me at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that I can serve best by being available and by giving the best counsel that I can. And as you probably know, I still serve on Eureka Grand Chapter committees. I'm on the bylaws committee. Um, I'm on two other committees. One is I'm trying to remember them. I'm on two other committees. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
grievance committee, the grievance
Okay.
committee. Yes, I'm on the
Mm-hmm.
grievance committee. So I
Cool.
continue to serve, and wherever I'm asked or whenever I'm asked by the grand matron, grand patron, I'm available. I make myself available. They know that I'm available to assist in any way I can. I want to continue to serve as long as God gives me the strength
Mm-hmm.
and the energy and knowledge, as long as the mind is still functioning
Amen.
to
Amen.
do the best I can to contribute to my chapter and to the grand chapter.
I know it's always a sensitive question for women, but do you mind sharing your age or not? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Well, I would rather not.
Okay, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's good enough.
But I
Mhm.
will say I'm a super senior.
Okay,
Amen.
exactly. We'll put it
Amen.
like that.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so I know our time is tight. So past Grand Mary Boyd-Foy, we thank you so much for being on the show this evening. You have blessed us with so many historical things to remember. And I know like the members of Emerald will be able to just take this podcast and just have it for their history. Might as well lock it in their archives. But in
You're
general,
welcome.
and
You're
yeah,
welcome.
in the second district, and it's a lot of things that and definitely thank you for that. And
You're
just
welcome. It was my pleasure. And I
Mhm.
hope that you will make this available or make it communicated to my members as well as all the other members, but my members in Emerald chapter
Listen,
so that they can you know.
Your patron gonna get this in the morning. Trevor's my boy, so
Oh, wonderful,
he definitely gonna get it in
wonderful.
the morning. But
One, well, may I just say one thing
yes,
before we leave?
yep,
I must say, give a shout out to my patron.
mm-hmm,
My worthy patron, Trevor McLeod, is the bestest of the bestest.
Mhm.
mm-hmm,
He is so, so concerned and dedicated to the order and to all of our members. He is always there for us. I have to tell you, he's extraordinary, and my hat's off to him. He is absolutely wonderful. He loves the order. He loves his sisters, and he
mm-hmm.
shows it in everything he does. He looks after us, and he's always there for us. So he's a wonderful, worthy patron.
Outstanding. And
Yes.
if he
Shout
wasn't,
out.
he would be in trouble with me. But
Uh-oh.
Shout out, Trev.
um,
Shout out to him. Yes.
again, just thank you for everything you have done. Just in like a quick side note, like I was saying, you called yourself a senior senior, but you're still working in a not only in an order, but in a community in general. You had to take the time from just to do this in order to invest that you these things you do for the community. You're working on voting to make sure everybody get out at this age and still doing your thing. So it's an inspiration for all of us. So people out there, just remember that and you could do it if you see our senior members do it. We're gonna have to take their place and continue to do that if we want the country to survive and to be great. So just keep that in mind. Again, we thank you for everything you have explained to us today. Things such as, in order to be a good leader, you need to be responsible, accountable, have respect, not only for yourself, but the people you're leading. You must have integrity, dedication. Good leaders are good listeners. In order to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower and a good supporter. Definitely. And as a pass, when you pass the chair, remember you have passed. So make yourself available for your current leadership for their, to be that
Yes,
pillar of wisdom as we should be as past. So
yes.
again, past grand worthy matron Mary Boyd-Foy, thank you very much.
You're very welcome,
Absolutely.
and I thank you both for all the good work that you're doing. God bless you in your continued activities. And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's absolutely a pleasure meeting you, past Grand Worthy Matron, Mary Boyd-Foy. It's our first time interacting, and I definitely learned a lot from you through our short period of time today. I'm hoping to meet you in person one of these days, whether it's at a session or any of these events that we have
Yeah,
in our
mid-year is coming
jurisdiction
up. So
or mid-year. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll be looking for you. I'll be looking for you
Please
for
look for
sure.
me. Also, there's the Thanksgiving service for Eureka Grand
oh
Chapter.
yeah, yeah, but he's upstate, so
Yeah, I'm in Rochester.
Oh,
I'm a few hours
oh,
up, but
okay, okay. But
in the
there will
seventh,
be
we're in the seventh
times when we
district.
can get together. I look forward to it. Thank you so much, and God bless you, both
Absolutely.
of you.
thank
And
you.
so with that, we like to say, the world needs leaders and leadership starts with leading ourselves. It's impossible for you to lead other people if you cannot lead yourself. So please, everyone that's listening to this show today, take what you learned today, apply it, share it with as many people as possible who you think will receive value from it. And until the next time, God bless.
Good night.